Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to be clear at the outset that FHA has been very helpful in from a lot of my constituents, first-time home buyers, low-income home buyers, to achieve the American dream of home ownership. It has been incredibly helpful for them, and so I don't want to underestimate how important the program has been for people who live in central and northern Wisconsin. It's been a very helpful program. I think you picked up a little bit of concern on our side of the aisle, and I think our frustration here is that whenever we have testimony, we continually bring up concerns about the capital reserve ratio. It hasn't been met. We're concerned about bailouts, and it seems that every time we get testimony from the agency, we're told that it's sunshine and roses and tulips and unicorns, everything's great. And we look at the numbers and say, well, that's not true. We think it's far worse than you're telling us. And it's always, no, 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 it's all fine. And lo and behold, we were right. Our concern was well warranted because we now know that we're going to have almost $1.7 billion go from Treasury to FHA. And I know that you said it's not a bailout. But first of all, you would agree that it's actual money. This isn't accounting. We've actually had $1.7 billion go from Treasury to FHA. That's correct, right?
Well, it all stays in Treasury accounts, but yes.
But it's been moved to FHA, right?
To our accounts at Treasury, yes.
Right. You're just not playing with numbers on a balance sheet. The transfer's been made.
Correct.
Right. So, and these are real dollars, yes?
Yes.
Okay. And I just want to be clear on the bailout front. If this isn't a bailout, what do you consider a bailout?
So, Congressman, let me say two things, because I do think this whole conversation about bailout, no bailout is really beyond the point. I want to go to the fact that your earlier statement about we've said it's roses and then it's not. What we've been saying all along is that we have independent actuary and we have independent budget reestimate that is made by the budget process, and as a result of changes in condition and changes in portfolio, those numbers change. And we've always been honest about that. And in fact, the conversation we're having here today, we had this conversation when the president's budget came out and said that we were looking at a $943 million shortfall. I really just want to get this on the record because the only difference between then and today is that our volume was a little bit less in the last quarter than we had anticipated as part of the president's budget. I admit that circumstances changed, and that's what caused the additional.
But this underscores the point of the testimony that we always get. It's a bailout. It looks like a bailout. It walks. It quacks. It's a bailout. Just call it a bailout. Let me ask you this: what are the terms of repayment of the $1.7 billion?
This is exactly why it's not a bailout, because again, this is all within the government agency.
Listen, I only have a minute left. What are the terms of the repayment of taxpayer money of $1.7 billion?
The terms are every nickel we ever earned goes back to the federal government.
No. So are there terms of repayment? No. You don't have to repay it, do you? It's a bailout. Now, you might say there might be some point in the future where we make a little bit of money and we'll turn it over, but there is no requirement that you pay the $1.7 billion back to the American taxpayer. Not at all. And so I think the transparency and honesty, stop splicing words. This is a bailout. Call it what it is.
No,
and you don't have to repay it to the taxpayer.
We have prepaid on this. We pay every year on an ongoing basis.
I only have 15 seconds left. I want to quick switch on you. In the PATH Act, we've discussed a risk-sharing pilot program. Is that something you would consider at FHA, a risk-sharing pilot program?
So I would just say, I think it's worthy of looking at risk sharing, how it's structured, counterparty risk. There's a lot of challenges in risk sharing, but we certainly are willing to look at the
Consider that.
parameters for such.
Okay, I yield back. And thank you.
Time of the gentleman has expired, and to notify our very patient witness, we